Hi everyone, this is Rick from Oxford Electronics. Today I just want to go over with you the Kodi layout, the basics, and how to use the programs, TV shows, live TV that are built in. Now whether you purchased a box from myself or had it upgraded, this is probably the standard design that you're going to see. Depending on the version, if you have done it in the past with me, it might look a little bit different. And in the future, we might do some updates, at which point I'll probably make an updated video of this. For right now, we're going to focus on the key apps you see in front of you. Your movies and TV shows, which is called Showbox. Your Kodi, which is your all-in-one built-in program that everyone pretty much uses. You have your paid IPTV services, YouTube, your live TV, which goes through Mobdro, Netflix, and Facebook. To get started, let's take a look at the movies and TV shows through Showbox. I generally recommend this program to be used first before going into Kodi to see if you can find a current movie and TV show. When you go into it, you're going to see all these menus here for all the current TV shows and movies that are out. For this program, you might need to use an air mouse or another pointing device in order to navigate the menus. I'll demonstrate here. So we're going to go into the movies section, find a current movie, click on it, make sure you select the highest source available, and if you get an ad, you can just close out of it. Go to Watch Now, and it should bring up the movie within a couple of seconds. Some movies are going to have captions and other titles that will appear over top of the video. This just depends on where the source is coming from. This may change in the future as the movie becomes more popular or it's released to the general public. To stop your movie, you can just simply hit your back button on your remote or mouse. That is a free program, you don't have to pay for it. The next one I'm going to show you is the live TV, and I also recommend using this before using anything within Kodi. So if you want to watch a live television show, look in here and see if it's available. We're going to go into Channels, Home and Garden, and generally the audio will load first, the video will freeze, and about 30 seconds or less later it will start to play, depending on the speed of your box. The video quality for the live TV is a little bit degraded compared to the paid IPTV, which I'll show you a bit later on. To get out of here, you can also go back with your mouse, and you can reselect a different television show if you wish. If you ever notice that the connection locks up or the video gets choppy, it might just be the time of the day and how busy that stream is. You can close out of it and try reopening it, and it may improve or even restart your box. The next program we're going to look at is the main one, and that is Kodi itself. This one has all your TV shows, live TV, and movies built in. I only generally recommend you use it just for pre-recorded movies and TV shows that have already been released and some new releases that are just in theaters. I don't recommend it for live TV as it tends to be very unreliable and choppy, and it does not stream very well. When Kodi first loads, you're going to notice it says content loading. You want to wait till that goes away, and then the weather is going to appear down near the date and time in the lower right. After that, in the upper right, you're going to see something that says clearing cache and temporary files. We want to wait till that loads as well. After that process, it's also going to load any app updates that might be available. It's important to allow these to install before you try to run or play any other movies or TV shows, because if you're in that app, it could cause the system to crash and may need to be reloaded. Generally, this process can take about 5 minutes, depending on the speed of your box. If you have one of my newer boxes, it's probably within a minute or less. now that we have it fully loaded, this one's fairly up to date, so it shouldn't do any updates right now. We're going to go into our search and show you how to use that function. The main search program that's active right now is Covenant. I don't recommend you use the search all, as because it may not actually search within all the programs and give you all of the content that you've searched for. I find it works better to go within Covenant, and then you're going to select whether it's a movie or a TV show, and then you can do a new search. In this case, we're going to do Family Guy. And then press done. Note that whatever is highlighted with the blue box around it is what you're currently on for selection. You're not going to want to use an air mouse for this layout and build of Kodi, as it will try to jump around a lot and you'll tend to exit things when you don't want to. So use your up, down, left, right keypad and then your OK button. So we found Family Guy. We're going to press enter, and it's going to give us all of the season selections. And there we go. Depending on the speed of your box, this can take quite a while. It's important to note that just because something is showing here as available and it gives you all of the information and the pictures, does not necessarily mean that that content is being shared with everybody and has been uploaded and is available. So this is coming from a database online that has every movie and every TV show like IMDb has, and it's just presenting it to you in a nice layout. We're going to click on a show here, or onto a season, and then onto a show. And we're just going to play it. So when you click play on a show, it's going to search the web for all of the different sources of who is providing this particular show. And you're going to see here that it's going to show you how many are in SD, 1080p, 720p, and so on and so forth. And then it's going to present us with a list of all those findings. And generally we're just going to click on the first one and it will cycle through to find one that's the best match. In this particular layout, you'll notice there's a premium section. This is for the Reel to Brid paid accounts. It's usually generally about $5 a month. And this will give you better linked sources in 720p and 1080p, and usually in surround sound. You'll notice that there also is some here in the gray that are not the paid sources, but usually those, if you don't pay for them, will skip past and go down to the SD quality. Whereas with the Reel to Brid, you'll most likely get the high quality right away. It also speeds up the load times, and it just generally gives you a better availability all around. We're just going to pause that there with the space bar. You can also use the OK button, and you'll notice it brings up the information, which also will show you that this is a 5.1 surround sound one in 720p. Whereas most of the free stuff, if you just go with the standard install, will not have the 5.1. We're going to back out of here. I'm going to show you the next most requested thing, and that is, well, I don't want to search for my shows every time. I want them to show up in a favorites menu so that I can just go to that particular season or that particular show and not have to always be searching it in the search bar. So to do that, you're going to want to access whichever button I show you for the right click options. Sorry, I'm going to do that again here because I put the wrong one. The left click options. We're just researching right now to pull that back up. Okay. And when you left click on it, you're going to get an option that says add to favorites. You want to make sure to use this one and not the add to library, as the add to library will not be visible on the main screen. We're going to click on add to favorites here. And then we're just going to back out of everything. Get right back to the main menu. And we're going to go over on the top bar. And generally, because you're on the search, you're going to just want to go back one, and that's going to bring you to the end of the top list. We're going to go into favorites, and now the show is going to appear there. That way you don't need to research the show over and over again every time you turn the box on. You can also add to favorites individual episodes and individual seasons, so you don't have to click into a season and then find what you're looking for. We're going to go back from here. And now that we've looked at the search, just keep in mind with the search, there is other programs here to go through. I don't recommend using any of those ones at this time. In the movie section, it's going to give you all of the popular movies that are out right now. This tends to update once every couple of weeks with any new shows and movies. It's not always instant and up to date to the minute. If you leave it sit here, it will cycle through different ones, and if you scroll down a couple, it's going to show you all the information about each one. It's important to note that if you press the info button on the one, you can also go and play a trailer, which will give you a little bit more about it, as opposed to just clicking on it and hoping that it's a movie that you'll enjoy. In this case here, we're just going to play a movie, and you're going to click on it just by pressing your OK or Enter button. Make sure it's highlighted in blue first and that you're not on one of the upper menus. If the links don't ever load, or it goes through this load process then says no streams available even though it clearly is showing streams, it just means that this front interface, this nice design, is not linking up with the application in the background, which is Covenant. What they may have done is updated Covenant, the program, but then the designer of this build with the nice design did not make it link to that yet. They're still probably working on getting it all linked up. What we can do in that case is go and take that title of the show and go into the search and search for that show. By doing that, you're actually going directly into the application and it will most likely play and find a source. Here we're just going to show you that the links are currently working at this time. And this one just has a little extra stuff at the beginning. We're just going to pause it for now. And we'll get out of here. Now, if you ever do back out of the movie and you're trying to do something else,